I'm on a bit of a Pixar kick right now. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be giving you my top 10 favorite Pixar duos. As you all know, I recently just finished rewatching all of the Pixar movies. It was a fun journey. I have a ranking. Check it out up top. I had a blast talking about Pixar, but I wanted to sit down and talk about my favorite duos from Pixar because I feel like there's a lot that are overlooked, and there's also just some classic ones that I want to give some spotlight to. Before I give you guys my top 10 again, definitely hit the like button and comment down below your favorite Pixar duos. Coming in at number 10 for me is going to be Miguel and Hector from Coco. Watching Hector as a father figure to Miguel throughout this movie is just heartwarming. There's some nice comedic moments, and they're a pretty good musical duo as well. Coming in at number 9 for me is going to be Wally and Eve. Now, I am not a fan of Wally. You guys know that if you watch my ranking, but I feel like this duo is still iconic and has a lot of heartfelt, sweet moments, especially whenever they're just saying Wally and Eva. As much as I dislike the movie and think it's fairly boring, their duo is in fact the heart and soul of it. Coming in at number 8 for me is going to be a superhero duo, and that's Mr. Incredible and Frozone. Now, while they don't have a ton of time on screen together, I just love the way they bounce off each other, especially in the first Incredibles when they're sneaking out, listening to the police radio, and they're trying to save the day because they want to do their job as superheroes, but they end up getting set up as if they robbed the bank. That's always been funny. And then again, in Incredibles 2, we see them bounce off each other fairly well. Honestly, I could have gone with Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible, but I just like Samuel L. Jackson and Craig T. Nelson's voice acting chemistry. Number 7 is going to be Remy and Linguini from Ratatouille. I love how this premise is just so unique. You've got Remy the rat controlling Linguini, and while Linguini actually can't understand Remy through words, they have a great chemistry, especially the montage scene where he's training him how to cook. And even though Gusteau's does end up getting shut down, Remy still gets to live out his passion as well as Linguini, so they kind of inspire each other in that way. They have ups and downs, and they're just a great duo. Number 6 for me is going to be Carl and Russell from Up. I think that at first this relationship seems like it's going nowhere because Carl doesn't want anything to do with this kid, but over time Carl becomes a father figure to him because we find out Russell doesn't really have the best relationship with his parents anyway, and he really misses out on a dad figure, so Carl takes up that void for him and honestly is just a great father figure to him. The way the movie ends with them eating ice cream and counting the different colored cars is very heartfelt, and I like that by the end we get to see Carl come full circle on children because he's a little bit of a cynic, rightfully so based on his past history and life, but he gives him the grape soda badge that Ellie gave him at the beginning of the movie, and it's just such a sweet moment. This duo is not the best from the movie Up because I'm about to talk about what I like a little more, but it is very much the heart and soul of this movie, at least the later parts of the movie. But coming in at number 5 for me is going to be another duo from Up, and that is Carl and Ellie. And while this duo only has like 10 minutes of screen time together, the impact they have on the movie and Pixar in general is unmatched. Seriously, the first 10 minutes of Up rip my heart out and make me cry every time, but it's just this romance is so powerful, and it carries over into Carl's arc for the rest of the movie that it had to be so high on this list. They have some of the most iconic lines and shots from this movie, notably when they're painting the mailbox and their handprints are on it. Of course, the grape soda pin, and then adventure is out there, and then the whole book as well, the adventure book. So there's so many aspects to this relationship that make it iconic, but it's also just this sweet romance that I truly adore. While they don't have the most screen time, this duo has a massive impact. Coming in at number 4 for me is going to be Marlin and Dory from Finding Nemo because they're barely on screen together in Finding Dory, but in Finding Nemo, Marlin's this dad who's trying to find his son Nemo, and Dory comes along. She has short-term memory loss. Seeing them go off each other and have to tackle different obstacles, whether that be Bruce the shark, talking to the school of fish, going through the jellyfish, or even dealing with Squirt and the turtles. All these different antics ensue, and while you can get really frustrated with Dory at times, the message of just keep swimming and pushing through no matter what, it does resonate throughout this movie, and I think that by the end we see Marlin kind of appreciate Dory for who she is. It's one of those Pixar duos that's so iconic you can just see them and be like, oh, Finding Nemo, you automatically attribute it to that, so it had to be pretty high up on this list. Coming in at number 3 for me might be the hottest take, the most out there take, if you will, and that is Ian and Barley Lightfoot, the brothers from the movie Onward. Onward's in my top 10 Pixar movies. Go check that video out if you have not. I truly love Onward. I've seen it 3 times now. Each time it creeps up higher in my Pixar ranking. It just hits me in the feels, especially the brotherhood relationship. And speaking of brotherhood relationships, this is one of the best we've seen on screen, especially in Pixar. Ian is just this younger kid who's very shy and timid, and he's trying to come of his own, and then Barley is this outgoing people that a lot of people view as a screw-up, and we see their relationship develop throughout the movie as they're trying to get their dad back for one last day with him as he leaves the spell behind, but they only have the legs, they don't have the upper part of his body, so they're kind of interacting with the dad, but not really, and by the end of the movie, we see Ian realize that Barley is that father figure to him. They have great laughs, they grow, and it's just, there are so many heartfelt brother moments that just hit me in the feels because I myself have an older brother. So we're down to the top 2, and I feel like these are fairly self-explanatory self-explanatory, but the order could differ from person to person. Coming in at number 2 for me is going to be Woody and Buzz, the classic duo that started it all for Pixar. They're at odds with each other in the first movie, and they become friends and companions by the end of it, to infinity and beyond. That's just an iconic line. But of course, this isn't flying, it's falling with style. That moment right there solidified this duo as one of the best, but I have to attribute a lot of credit to Tom Hanks and Tim Allen for lending their voices to these roles, because they are immaculate, some of the best voice acting I've ever seen. And throughout all 4 movies, even though Toy Story 4 is fairly weak, we get to see their relationship develop, and even in the end of Toy Story 4, their relationship still takes the spotlight at the very end. They're just 2 of the coolest characters in Pixar as well, and 2 of the most beloved. But coming in at number 1 for me, my favorite Pixar duo has to be Mike and Sully from Monsters Inc., Monsters University, and soon to be Monsters at Work. But they're voiced by Billy Crystal, who voices Mike Wazowski, and John Goodman, who plays Sully. And Mike Wazowski is one of the funniest Pixar characters by far. Seeing them have to deal with Boo is hilarious, especially the scene where she really laughs and the power just goes out across Monstropolis. Sully is a very warm character as well, you just want to get a big hug from. And then Mike, I wouldn't mind sitting down and having a beer with him. I feel like he'd be cracking jokes the whole time. So you combine those 2 aspects and they just work perfectly, especially in Monsters University when you see Sully's kind of this carefree guy who just thinks he's gonna breeze through college, and then Mike wants to work hard, and then you pair them up and we see the origin perfectly in Monsters University. They bring the most laughs to me personally, and while Woody and Buzz are probably a little more iconic, I just prefer Mike and Sully at this very moment. They have a great arc from the very beginning of Monsters University to now, and even moving forward into Monsters at Work. So that's gonna do it for my top 10 favorite Pixar duos. Definitely hit the like button, comment your favorite duos down below. Do you think my list is outrageous, unfair, or do you agree with it? I definitely want to have a conversation down in the comments. But thank you all for watching. Consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any future rankings, reviews, vlogs, all that good stuff. July is going to be a massive month for the Film Stock channel. I'm pumped for it. I can't wait. But thank you all for watching again, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.